Hello everyone. In this video we'll have a look at the ligaments of the urinary bladder. So you have to treat the ligaments of the bladder as friends. See how this will help. Let's see now. As you can classify friends as true friends and false friends, same as in the case of the ligaments. We have two types of ligaments, true ligaments and false ligaments. So first type of ligament is a true ligament and the second type is known as the false ligament. So true ligaments are like the true friends which help you when you need them, and false friends pretend to help. So same applies to the case of the ligaments of the bladder. We classify ligaments into two, true ligaments and false ligaments. True ligaments are the ligaments which actually support the urinary bladder, and false ligaments are just the folds of the peritoneum which appear to support the bladder. So knowing about the true and the false friends of the urinary bladder is a very interesting story to know about. As I told you, we classify ligaments into two, that are the true ligaments and the false ligaments. True ligaments and the false ligaments. True ligaments are the modification of the pelvic fascia, or more precisely you can say the obturator fascia. That is the fascia covering the obturator internus muscle. So true ligaments are the fascia of facial condensation. And false ligaments are the just mere folds of peritoneum. These are the folds of peritoneum. So the facial condensation, or you can say more precisely or more accurately, it is pelvic facial condensation. So there are in total 9 true ligaments, or the 9 true friends of the urinary bladder, and there are 7 false friends. Okay, for the notes of the video you can check the description box below. So let's see what are the true ligaments and what are the false ligaments. So let's recall or name the true ligaments one by one. The first true ligament is median umbilical ligament. Yes, the one which was related to the apex. I told you in the first truth of the urinary bladder that the sole or the only function of the apex of the urinary bladder, which was this, using this model I explained you, the tip of the apex of the urinary bladder is attached to a ligament which is called the median umbilical ligament. Just keep in mind, as I told you, true ligaments are the pelvic fascial condensation, but this is not true for the median umbilical ligament. It is a developmental ligament formed in the fetus during the development process. So the pelvic fascial condensation is true for the 8, as the remaining one is the median umbilical ligament. The second we will talking about the medial puboprostatic ligament and the lateral puboprostatic ligament. So we have if you have problem remembering it, then wait till the end, because we are going to make it simple with the help of the diagrams. And yes, it's not the difficult ones like that of books. It's going to be quite simple and it's easy to understand. So we have the medial puboprostatic. The name can indicate how the ligament is attached. So medial puboprostatic ligament and a lateral puboprostatic ligament. I am not writing in full, but in notes you can write it the full. Then we have the one more lateral ligament which is called the lateral true ligament, and one we have the posterior ligament of the bladder. Posterior ligament of bladder. There is something special about the posterior ligament of bladder, what I will tell you when I will discuss about the diagram. So just keep in mind what are the function. I am marking the blue sketch pen. That's why there is something into the venous drainage. So what is function? Just keep watching. So like this we have completed all the ligaments of the all the true ligaments of the urinary bladder. But you might be thinking that there are only 5. You will be surprised to know that except the median umbilical ligaments, all ligaments are 2 in number. So 2, 4, 6, 8 and the one here 9. Now it's time for the false ligaments. So there are in total 7 false ligaments, which are the median umbilical fold. So first we have the median umbilical fold. Like that of the median umbilical ligament. Second we have the medial umbilical fold. Third one is the lateral umbilical fold. Fourth one is the posterior false ligament. If you are having trouble remembering, then it will be clear with the help of a diagram, and it will be simpler for you to remember recall all the names of the ligaments. So except the first, we have all the 3 are 2 in number. So 2 medial umbilical fold, 2 lateral umbilical fold, 2 posterior false ligament and single median umbilical fold. So now let's draw the diagram to clarify all the ligaments. So what we are going to draw is the transverse section at the level of the urinary bladder. So here we are going to draw the transverse section. These diagram will be different from the one which you will find in the book like VDC or any other book. But I can assure you this is the more simpler and easy to understand diagram. Here we have the pubic symphysis. So this end becomes the front one becomes the anterior end, and the back we have the ala of the sacrum. That is, we have the posterior part of the sacrum. So this becomes the posterior end. This is the anterior end. So just carefully watch what I am going to draw, or what all structure are present in this section. So first that we are going to discuss is the bladder. So let's draw to the bladder, and we are viewing this from the inferior side. Suppose this is the body, we are making cross section here, and we are viewing from the down side. This is the body, we are making cross section and viewing from the down. So the anterior side is present the bladder. So this is the bladder, apex is pointing towards the anterior side, base is the posterior. As we are viewing from down, you can see the opening of the urethra at the neck of the bladder. So here is the opening for the urethra, and this is the bladder. Posterior to bladder, this is the diagram for the male. So posterior to bladder is present the rectum. But if in books you find the diagram is given to female, then there is cervix should be present the posterior part of the bladder or just at the back of the bladder. But we are drawing male, so more posteriorly we have the rectum. So this is the rectum here. So let's draw the diagram, and let's see who all are the true friends and the false friends of the bladder. So let's start with the first one, that is the median umbilical ligament. For understanding this, we have to draw other diagram from the sagittal view. We will see this is the tip of the bladder, that is the apex of the bladder. Here is the base. We are proceeding to the down towards the neck, then it's converting to urethra. Here it is present at the back of the pubic symphysis. So this is the pubic symphysis, and above pubic symphysis in the anterior abdominal wall we have the umbilicus. So the median umbilical ligament attaches from the apex to the umbilicus. So this is the median umbilical ligament that we are going to talk about. Median umbilical ligament. And it is a remnant of the urachus. Remnant of urachus, and it is found from allantois. So median umbilical ligament is a remnant of urachus which is found from allantois. Okay, if anything is not clear, you can ask in the comment box below. So like this, very simply we discuss about the first ligament. Now let's see the second and third ligament together. Before discussing about the medial and the lateral pubostatic ligament, let's add some more detail to the diagram. Along the side there is a muscle present which is called the obturator internus muscle. So here is on the sides there is a muscle present which is called the obturator internus muscle, which form the lateral wall of the pelvic cavity or the lateral pelvic wall. This muscle is covered by fascia called the obturator fascia. See, suppose this is the muscle and is covered by fascia called the obturator fascia. This is obturator internus muscle covered by fascia called the obturator fascia. There is in the center or on the pelvic side of the fascia there is thickening called the tendinous arch. So the obturator internus muscle is covered with fascia and some part of the fascia is modified into a tendinous arch, which you can see over here. So on the both sides tendinous arch is present. So tendinous arch, why we are talking about the tendinous arch is, the point is that it serves as the point of the attachment for various ligaments. So let's see how this is done by the tendinous arch. So first let's show the median umbilical ligament here. So this is the median umbilical ligament. Now let's draw the medial pubostatic ligament. It originates from the neck of the bladder to the pubic symphysis on both sides. So medial pubostatic ligament originates from where? From the neck till the pubic symphysis. The lateral pubostatic ligament, the third one, originates from the neck of the bladder till the anterior end of the tendinous arch. So this is the lateral pubostatic ligament. I hope all these are clear. See, we are giving numbers. This is the number 1, that is the median umbilical ligament. This is the number 2, that is the medial pubostatic ligament, and this is number 3. 2 originates from the neck, 3 originates from the neck, 2 is inserted in the pubic symphysis, the third one inserted in the anterior end of the tendinous arch, and I explained you how this tendinous arch is formed. Now on the third one, that is the lateral true ligament, originates from the inferolateral surface. So it originates from the inferolateral surface till the tendinous arch. So it originates from that lateral true ligament originates from the inferolateral surface, that are these two surfaces. So it originates from the inferolateral surface and is inserted into the tendinous arch on the lateral side. I hope this point is clear. And the fact is that it is present on both the sides. So this was the fourth ligament that we talked about. Now it's remaining the posterior ligament of bladder and the very important point related to it. And the last ligament remaining is the posterior ligament of bladder, originates from the sides of the base of the bladder, like over here. So it originates from the sides of the base of the bladder and inserted on the lateral pelvic wall. So these are the posterior ligament of the bladder. So in this the venous plexus is present, which is responsible for the venous drainage of the bladder into the internal iliac vein. So in the posterior ligament of bladder there is present the venous drainage, or the venous plexus is present, responsible for the venous drainage of the bladder, which drain to the internal iliac vein, which we will discuss in the video under the heading venous drainage and vascular supply of the bladder. So this was the fifth ligament that we talked about. I hope all the ligaments origin insertions are very precisely and to the point clear to you. Any doubt or query, ask in the comment box. Now for understanding the false ligaments, let's draw one other diagram to have a clear view of this ligaments. So we're drawing a cut section of the peritoneum at the level of the small intestine. So this was a diagram which we earlier talked about, so we need to recap. So here is the intestinal part surrounded by the fold of peritoneum. Here is the mesentery, and this will be parietal peritoneum. So anterior aspect I am drawing with a different color, so you can understand how the ligaments or the different folds are present. On the both the lateral side, there is a U-shaped depression or a gap. So on the both side you can see. Then is present the medial umbilical fold on both the side, and the center the fold is present is called the median umbilical fold. So this gap or the fold, that is the median umbilical fold, is formed due to the presence of the median umbilical ligament. So median umbilical ligament run over here, causing the formation of the median umbilical fold. So this is the first part, that is the median umbilical fold. This is the medial, and this is the umbilical fold is formed due to the presence of the obliterated umbilical artery, that is the umbilical artery degenerates due to the formation of a fold called the medial umbilical fold. For understanding the lateral umbilical fold, let's draw another diagram. Here you are seeing the urinary bladder and the fold of peritoneum above it. So along the sides here the fold is formed which is called the paravesical fossa. So here there is a fossa present on the fold of peritoneum which is called paravesical fossa, which are forming the lateral umbilical fold. The fourth ligament is the posterior fold ligament of peritoneum or the posterior false ligament is present on the posterior part by a fold of peritoneum called the sacrogenital fossa. It is present in the posterior part from the lateral angles till the level of the S3 vertebra. So on the both sides from the lateral angle till the S3 vertebra, this fold of peritoneum is present, which is called sacrogenital fossa or the sacrogenital fold. So like this we come to the end of all the ligaments of the bladder. So if you like the video, do hit the like button and share our channel with your batchmates. And yes, if you have not subscribed our channel yet, please click on the subscribe button below and subscribe our channel. For notes, check the description box below. Thanks for watching.